So the range as a whole, so they're releasing 3 new drivers. So they've got the Dynapower Carbon, we've got the Dynapower LS, and the Dynapower Max.
Same name.
What?
It's the same name.
As what?
Last time.
Yes. But it's a very different product.
But people aren't going to know that.
Okay, so you've got a problem with that, have you?
So we've got to tell people that obviously that's our job. But I'm like, if you're a punter who doesn't follow golf equipment that much and you saw Dynapower
You mentioned this when I came back. Yeah, actually, not even Dynapower 2.0.
Just something to differentiate. Because if you're shopping in the second-hand market or you Google Wilson Dynapower, what's going to rock up is the old one as well. Anyway, I think that's a massive error.
Okay, well, they put a lot more work into drive than they have done before, and I would say this is the best drive they've made since the Invex, where John Daly won the Open with the Invex in 1995.
The Invex is a fun name.
I'd look up the Invex. It'll be one for you.
I'm going to do it now while you're chatting away.
So the Carbon is basically the sort of mid-range one. It's a strong all-round, and it's actually what I was fit into when I was up there. The LS, that's been designed basically, obviously for a low-spin product, but it's been designed for the better player, and they've done everything they can within that product to eliminate the left-hand side of the course. And we see that a lot with Triple Diamond, LS,
popular trend
whatever.
this year.
So better players seem to want to eliminate that left shot for a right-hander, and it really does. I barely could keep it on the range when I was trying to hit it. I'm a cutter of the ball anyway, and it's pretty heavily fade bias. So if you're a quick player who really hates that left shot, take a look at that LS. It's got real genuine fade bias, not subtle. It's pretty pokey in that regard for me. The Max, that's an all titanium product, and it's brilliantly forgiving. It looks a lot better than previous Dynapower stuff to me. You've got a couple of gripes with it, haven't you? But I would get to that in a second. I think it absolutely now, for the first time, genuinely, it stands up to the competition in terms of ball speed and many other parameters on the launch monitor. I'm not someone who generally gets massive amounts of efficiency. I've never really worked out why. You know, you're doing your smash factor number.
What do you get up
ball
to?
speed divided by club head speed. I'm pretty consistently around that 1.46 number.
Not bad.
Well, it's not bad, but I see plenty of my counterparts just
You're better than that,
149, 150
you
all
are.
the time, and I'm never really sure why. I was consistently, the Carbon which I was fitted into, I was consistently at 1.50, which I'm very, very rarely am. So I was really impressed with the efficiency and the ball speed coming out of that. I just think they look a lot more premium than they ever have done. I know you've got some observations, but I still think it's a real step forward. I think this is genuinely high-end looking product from Wilson now, which I don't think I've always been able to say.
I would agree with that. I think like even just holding it now, being a part of it.
Go on.
It's strong. No, it's a strong look for Wilson, I think. I've always said this about Wilson. I'll stand by this until they change it. That's their logo. That's fine. Reminds me of tennis. I used to play a Wilson tennis racket. I played a lot of tennis.
Is it the connotations?
I've got bad connotations with that logo. Not bad, but like non-golfy. What I do love is the Wilson Staff Shield, which I know they've brought a lot more into their premium irons.
Oh, on the Staff Model CB and the Staff Model Blades looks phenomenal. And I wish.
And not only have they've taken the WS out of the Shield, which reminded me of like their low-end golf balls, their Duo Softs. Yeah. So they got rid of that. I was like, brilliant. They're going to start seeing that more into their high-end product, which this is. For me, that logo just if you got rid of that, put the Shield on there in a bit bigger, that would have just tied it all together for me.
Okay.
That's my only issue with it. But I totally agree with you that this Carbon in particular I've got in my hand here looks right up there with the competition this year. Would love to have seen. Anyway, face, that looks like a GT.
Yeah,
a lot of
face we've seen
front-on
a lot
action
of
this year.
Cobra
Cobra will look like that as well.
Cobra, Titleist GT, Wilson.
Shaping, the etching, very similar.
So I think a lot of people have sort of, again, gone down that route of visible loft. So if you can see more loft by making the face contrast a little bit more, gives people a little bit more confidence at address, which when we're talking about driver, confidence is pretty much everything. But
can I just talk about from the address position of the
LS?
Yes, versus the
reason I haven't
Max.
got the Carbon with me actually is because the one I've fitted for hasn't arrived yet. So I've only got the LS and the Max with me.
So you've got that sort of gloss black on the Max without the carbony finish because it's titanium. But
Correct.
you haven't got that, where the carbon connects to the rest.
The banner strip.
That's the word I'm after. You lose the banner strip. I'd say the Max doesn't look quite as premium behind the ball. I think that carbon really lifts that.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. And I'd be interested to know why. Maybe it's a price point thing, which I'll come to shortly. But yeah, I was impressed. I'm not sure they've done enough yet to make me think I'm definitely going to play that, but it's something that I would certainly put in the equation to test now, whereas before I would just gloss over it and go, well, that's nice, you've done a driver, Wilson. Not for me. It sounds patronising, but
that's where they sit. And it was the same with Strixon a couple of episodes ago, where I think you said they've now bumped themselves not only as like, oh yeah, it's good, but it's a couple mile an hour, a couple yards shorter than the big 4.5. But it's there. Would you say this is now the same? It's like you've always been just below, but now they've put that extra
made
effort,
a genuine
time,
push. Yeah, they've spent some money, made a genuine push. And I think interesting what you say about the branding. They are becoming more sort of brand or image conscious, I think. So a lot of the presentation that I sat through was around how they're trying to sort of pull on the heritage strings of Wilson and the kind of retro feel of the clothing and, you know, your rope hats and things like that. And they've actually brought in some a lot of a younger market. They've tried to back some influencers. So they've got, who's the guy who pauses at the top? The Pause King.
That might be his actual name.
Yeah,
I know the bloke you're on about.
He's got an actual name. He's
got an actual name. Yeah, most
Lewis
people do.
Sparrow is a beautiful swinger of a golf club. Works at Precision Golf. Actually,
Is he?
He's big on Instagram. Swings it great. They're just kind of pushing that sort of young preppy college feel.
He is just the Pause King.
There you go. And then
Ben Krupa.
Ben Krupa, that's his name.
There we go. Sorry, mate.
Sorry,
you have got a name.
You're welcome. But yeah, they sort of, again, they've done a lot of research into that period of time when when the pandemic was kicking off and a younger audience sort of gravitated towards golf, and people started wearing, fashion changed a little bit during that period of time, and they're trying to get involved in that and get that whole ethos and feel going within their sort of apparel line and stuff like that. And also I think they're becoming a bit more brand and image conscious within the looks of their products, which I think is great.
Yeah. I want to see more from them. I really want to see more from them because they've got so much heritage to lean on. Yeah. They're always like, they've won so many majors. There've been so many great players' bags across the years and people are into retro. 90s is very in at the minute, I guess. That era's in. That's when retro. Wilson were the best. That is retro. I'm sorry, mate. Wow. It's 2025 now, Mush. Yeah. I'm sorry. And that's their era, so they should really lean on that. I just want to see a little bit more. I like it. I'm getting it.
I think
they're pushing
I agree.
This is looks only because I've not hit these yet, and they perform really well by all accounts.
We've got fairway range as well. So we've got the Dynapower Carbon. We've got the Max. Spoke to Sam about these as per usual. Our fairway man.
Fairway
I don't test the fairways, as Dan often says. So we're going to go top line here. Really enjoyed the Carbon sound. Still not as thuddy as kind of a Callaway or TaylorMade style Carbon. Falls somewhere between that and like a titanium-y sound like the Strixon product. Both sit really nice and flat to the ground for confidence. He felt really confident in getting these plenty of airborne. Colourway and other things about it gave him kind of TaylorMade Stealth 2 vibes, which I can kind of see. The Max was just a slightly louder version. Lacked a little power of some of others' competitors he felt in the Max, but really easy to use. And yeah, was generically overall a fan.
Generically? Do you mean generally?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
It's like when people say Pacific instead of specific, or generally instead of genuinely. It really annoys me.
What specifically do you mean by that?
I don't mind it. If you want more detail on those fairways and hybrids, the links to Sam's written reviews are down in the description on YouTube or on your podcast platform of choice. Again, if you're joining us for the first time, we gloss over these because we haven't hit them. Joe hasn't hit them. We don't want to spend time and effort talking about something we can't really stand behind. So go and read that if you want.
Missed out the hybrid actually, which Sam mentioned.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, just the fairways, but there's one hybrid. It's decent. I actually quite like the hybrid. Never been a huge hybrid fan. Did a lot of hitting with the hybrid up on the range at Turnberry myself. So I have actually hit this. Sam's have done obviously more in-depth testing. Bonded hosels. There's no adjustability, so you need to get your loft dialed in to know exactly what you want in terms of a yardage fill in there. Nice shiny gloss ground and just really easy to hit. High launching, super easy to hit. One of the most user-friendly hybrids I've hit in a long time, I think. I found that really, really good. It's not going to be don't think it'd be a one for the better players, really. They've got a really nice utility iron, which I think will generally fill that gap for their tall staff.
That RB, that was quite good, wasn't it? The RB utility.
Yeah, and then onto the irons. So we've got the Dynapower and the Dynapower Max.
Can I preface with this conversation?
Go on.
Oh, okay. Love the shield on the back.
Yeah.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
They could have carved Wilson into that. They didn't need to. There's a nice shield. Okay.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Otherwise, though, Joe,
From a shelf appeal
you're about to say some words.
Yeah, from a shelf appeal point of view, I think look really good. I like the finish. There's a bit of gloss on there, which I don't love, but it's used sparingly, and the rest of it is generally a nice sort of brushed steel finish. Filled cavity with a sort of, it looks a bit plasticky, the badge to me.
The badge, and that may not come through. It's got a shine to it that makes it look more plasticky than it is.
Yeah, I think I feel harsh here, but I think there is certainly some better game improvement irons out there. When I hit these, I found them quite clicky and firm. If you're someone who prefers that kind of robust, industrial, firmer feel in an iron, and there are those people out there, there's walking amongst us actually. But
seek help.
But this will provide you with that slightly firmer feel. If you're not someone who's into that sort of buttery sensation, I found them a little bit harsh. And just from a playing point of view, I know I'm not the category they're aimed at.
Kind of look down the ball. I played D7s back in the day, brought me down from 18 to 12 very quickly. So I've got a soft spot for these kind of irons.
I just wasn't sure about the shapings. I think they lacked a little bit of symmetry for me. And again, it's tough to put your finger on, but I went through, obviously, iron by iron. I just felt there was some better profiles in the game improvement department for me. But they do. I mean, they produce some great distance. They're hot.
I've got no doubt these things will do the job they're meant to do. But it's such a strong year for game improvement irons that this is really going to struggle unless the price point can help that.
And again, maybe I haven't done my job particularly well here, but I haven't received much information because we were recording this quite a fair bit ahead of their embargo.
Well,
so I don't have all their final RRPs, but it'd be good to flash them up. Yeah.
The RRPs will be flashed up now, so we get that spot on. We can't comment on them yet as we don't know.
And if they are
cheaper,
a decent chunk cheaper, they'll do a really good job.
A while ago now, but D7 was 2019. I remember they were, and that's why people fell into them, and they performed really well. So it was like a win-win for people. You get fit for a good quality club that's going to do its job, but you don't pay the tailor-made Callaway prices.
Yeah,
so we'll have to
100%.
see. Yeah, not tough that. We've had some great clubs over the past few weeks. And to my point earlier, sometimes you're a bit flat about a couple of things, and that's fine, and that's okay to be like that because there's a lot of good stuff out there.
It is, and that's not bad product at all. It just, like I said, it just doesn't quite do it for me from a looks point of view and feels a little bit harsher than some, but will certainly hit a price point potentially for a lot of people. And there's a lot of Mizuno loyalists. I know quite a few love the Mizuno product, and I think it will still do well. I'd love to see a little bit more work gone into the shaping and soften up that feel just a touch would be my only my only take on that.